Closeouts are a powerful tool to help you manage your bookings. This film will show, from start to finish, setting up a recurring closeout. From your diary, click Settings, and within Diary Configuration, click Closeout Settings. Here you will find a button to create a new closeout, a table of all the closeouts currently in your diary, and a calendar showing any days closeouts are in effect. If you have no closeouts in place, this table will be blank and there will be no dots in the calendar. To add a closeout, click Create New Closeout, and this will bring up the closeout screen. Give your closeout a name and description. This isn't customer facing, so take time to explain clearly what the closeout does so that your team will be able to understand at a glance why the closeout is in place. The description will appear when you hover over the closeout in the grid view, and the name will feature within the closeout console and within the table in closeout settings. Select the date you want the closeout to start. By default, this will be the current day, but you can specify any day in the past or future. If the closeout will only be in place temporarily, uncheck No End Date and enter an end date for the closeout. By default, a closeout will be applied to all days, but you can select specific days using the checkboxes. You can now set the start and end times for your closeout and the areas this will affect. You have the option to select individual areas with the drop-down, or click Select All Areas. In this example, it says Normal Operations within brackets next to each area. This tells you which segment the area is part of, so if you have active segments in place, you may see multiple areas with the same name. Segments allow you to create different diary setups for events and holidays, and is covered in detail in its own film linked in the description. Click Add Interval and the time and areas affected will be set. You have the option to add multiple intervals. This allows you to create one closeout that switches on and off throughout the day. This will be useful if you want to create a single closeout to affect the availability in different areas at different times, or force back-to-back bookings. You can select whether this affects internal bookings, online bookings, or common, meaning it applies to both. Finally, you can select a colour for the closeout. This will set how the closeout appears in the grid view and the colour disc that appears alongside the closeout on the settings page. You can set colour by RGB value, hue and saturation, or hex code, allowing you to match your brand colours or be very specific with your palette. It's best to select a colour that will stand out, not too light or too dark. You can now click Save to add your closeout or Cancel to exit the tool without saving. If the closeout has been added to the diary, you will see a green success pop up and the closeout tool will close. If for whatever reason the closeout can't be added, you will see a red pop up and the tool will stay open. Double check your closeout for any sections you may have missed and try to save again. Your closeout will now appear in the table, and you have additional options to delete the closeout or open the closeout for editing, where a new button to delete the closeout will appear. If you click this button or the bin icon in the table, you'll be asked to confirm your choice before the closeout will be deleted. The calendar gives a quick overview of which closeouts are active on which days. You can click a disc to edit the closeout and use the date drop-downs to change the date range shown. Returning to the grid view, you'll be able to see the closeout in place. It can be removed quickly on that day via the closeout console. For a full guide to the closeout console, watch the linked film. This film has covered the basics of how closeout settings work. For an in-depth guide to applying closeouts to your operations, watch the Managing Your Bookings with Closeouts film. For more support content, visit the ResDiary knowledge base and make the most out of your diary.